Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. I am here with David Yu, CEO of ECOMI, as well as Dan Crothers of the Smothers Brothers. No, I'm just kidding. But we'll be right back, so stick around after this brief disclaimer.
You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
And we are back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. If you hear any loud noises, it's probably my cat upstairs knocking ornaments around the floor, which he has basically done since we put up the tree. So, Dan Crothers, you are the COO of ECOMI, and Dan is the CEO. So you guys are like a tag team duo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
tag
team from him.
So, and we've been joking around, like while people are kind of coming into chat and getting the notifications and everything that we're live, I'm talking to these guys. Dan hasn't said anything for like the whole time we're prepping. And then all of a sudden he just starts talking and I'm like thrown off because he's from freaking New Zealand. And he doesn't, it's not even that he doesn't speak fluent English. He's got this awesome New Zealand accent. People are going to have to hear that to believe it. Well, that's awkward. All right. So anyway, I've actually reviewed the ECOMI project a while back, and I was actually quite favorable of it. It just looks like a fun, cool, way to get my kids into crypto. I mean, really, and just kind of get them started in it by collecting just these little characters and stuff, but it's actually much bigger than that, right? Which one of you, is it one of you that's responsible for some of these big licenses? This guy, the banana, as we referred so eloquently. The yellow on the outside, white on the inside. That was hilarious. I'm going to be cracking up in my sleep after that one. So you basically have been traveling all over the place, just kind of getting really cool licensing deals. So I guess let's start a little bit and go into what ECOMI is, and then I'd like to know about like some of these licenses. I know I've read some of these licenses, and I mean it's some pretty big stuff. So let's start a little bit by just telling everybody that may or may not be familiar. What is ECOMI?
All right, you want to
Sure, yeah. So basically, ECOMI Collect is an app-based marketplace for digital collectibles. And our main angle is that we are aiming to provide premium licensed digital collectibles. And I think the biggest difference between us and probably other blockchain projects is that we are tackling the mass market. You mentioned before, Jason, that this could be a cool way to get your kids into crypto. And yes, it is. However, because we're dealing with a mass market, a lot of the crypto blockchain token side of it is well behind the scenes. And we need to do that to ensure that people who don't understand crypto can easily onboard with the app, get the collectibles, buy, trade, and sell them within the app itself. So that's basically sort of what we're doing in a nutshell.
So how we got into this business is that I have actually been in the gaming business the last 20 years. I do own a chain of gaming shops.
I love the accent, dude. It's tripping me out. I'm so sorry.
Throughout New Zealand, we have stores here in Asia, in Taipei, and up in China. And in the 20 years of gaming business, we started from tabletop games. So I bought a lot of great products like trading cards, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh cards to New Zealand, and Warhammer, the tabletop miniature games.
What about War Machine? I play War Machine. I'm a big tabletop.
War Machine, yes. Yeah, we used to have War Machine.
I'm staring at shelves of models that I've painted and all that. So
as you know, the whole market spectrum is actually moving toward the gaming market this year. It's going to top over 80 billion in revenue. And you know, games like Overwatch, Fortnite, they are a perfect example of that. People are willing to purchase digital crypto accessories to go on. So we really see a huge drive and huge growth in the sector, and that's why we're using some of the expertise and the knowledge and the context I have, starting to work with license holders to bring their properties into this ecosystem.
So I don't even know if you can see this, but on my arm I actually have a tattoo.
Oh wow!
Of the Convergence logo from War Machine. Yeah, they actually talked about it on their Twitter. I thought it was cool. Something about the Iron Mother, Founder King, or something. I don't know. I thought it was cute. So yeah, I'm a total nerd. So what are some of the licenses that you've already locked down? Now, I guess before we even get into that, so basically, like I have a little picture of basically your app, and it shows like the cute little characters and things, right? The idea of these collectibles, are they all unique? So like you have one and that's it on the blockchain, and so it's kind of like, well, if somebody loves this character in a movie or something more than me, maybe they're willing to pay me more than I paid for it to get it. Is that kind of the idea?
Well, you got the idea. We do have 5 categories that we put the scarcity in this whole collectible thing. So you're going to have commons, which is more than just having one-offs. There will be a number of them because we want people to collect them, not just having one on its own. Obviously, our ultra rare, secret rare, they will reduce down to maybe 50 in the world. Each one of them will be numbered and they will be unique on its own. And you can do, in our phase 2, you can customize your collectibles to be more unique. For example, the skins, the weapons, the scenery in the bag that you want to put together. And as blockchain allowing us to develop and technology throughout this way, you will be able to do that unique one-off of your own coming up.
So, and just to touch further on that, so the way that ECOMI will work is each week we have what's called the ECOMI drop day. And on that day, we release a series. And that series could be any brand that we're working with, and based on the popularity of that brand, will determine how many how many collectibles we release in that series. If it was a very popular one, we might release 5,000 or 10,000 in total. And as David mentioned, we'll have roughly 60% of that 10,000 total will be commons, all the way down to ultra rare, which will be 1 or 2%. So this is very similar to how the collectible industry works in the real world, where you'll have people who just want to get a common or just want to get an uncommon, but there will be people, one of our target market groups, who want to collect the entire series from the ultra rare right through to the commons.
Do people buy packs that they open and it's like, oh, I randomly got an ultra rare, or do they start off ultra rare and you're paying a premium from the beginning?
Yeah, so we do have 2 type of models. One is, as you mentioned, it will be in a blind box pack, and that will be in our retail products, which will be launching maybe 3rd quarter next year once the initial apps launch. So in your local collectible comic stores, you will look for blind packs, which basically you open up and you'll get the rarity. And then to start with, we will have these on our platform, on our apps, our marketplace. You can buy them. And obviously, we will have a lot of incentive programs to get collectors involved. Like we have a Master Collect program, which will help you build. We have exchanges on our on-site that you can buy and sell, like an eBay type of style auction, or you can put a bid on or asking price. Someone else in the marketplace looking for that collectible will come and just buy it right off you. The whole idea of scarcity is not just dumping a whole lot of collectibles or NFT into the market. We do need to monitor, and we do need to make sure that the secondary market is going to be catching on. A lot of the games you have play tabletop, they do release drops. So anything that doesn't sell in that 12, 13 weeks, it's likely we're going to be basically deleting them burning the excess of it. So that gives the reward to the people who bought them. You probably bought a common that collectible you like, but you bought it because you know what you said. Rest of them is going to stay in the market. Once we burn it off, or reward you by having something was common become a quite rare collectible in the market.
Somebody had just posted, nice that you guys chose GoChain. I'm not aware of this relationship. I was extremely bullish on GoChain at ICO. I'm a big investor of GoChain. Tell me more, because this is literally the first I've heard of this.
Right. Yeah, it's a fairly recent development. Probably around about a month ago, I think we announced our partnership with GoChain. And you know, we looked very hard at who we were going to provide as our blockchain partner. Because I mentioned before, we are moving into the mass market. You know, most of the crypto projects you see out there now, they really deal with the crypto community. But because we are moving out into the mass market, it means we potentially have an audience of millions of users, and therefore the underlying technology or blockchain that we use has to be something that is very fast, very sturdy, and it also run by a very professional team. So we've met the GoChain team a number of times over in LA. I actually can't say enough about how good their team is, from the leadership down to the technical guys. And then in the technology itself, right now, GoChain is at 1,300 TPS, and I believe that over the next 12 months, maybe a bit more, they plan on making that number 10x. So this is the kind of infrastructure and underlying technology that a project like ECOMI needs to basically deal with the mass market.
And I'm assuming you found out about GoChain because of my amazing review.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The affiliate link is, we used your affiliate link, so it's all good, man.
Right. Okay, so that's actually really cool news, because yeah, I'm a big fan of GoChain, and I Jason and all those guys, man, they're sharp, and you know, I have to say that when I get an opportunity to toot my own horn, in the sense that, you know, because you get, I especially throughout 2017, I was flooded 20 emails a day from ICO projects. And, you know, I'm pretty certain I was one of the earlier YouTubers out there that started fully disclosing from my very first video my paid reviews and the paid content, in a time when a lot of people didn't want to, because they felt like, oh, well, my viewership would go down and this would happen and that would happen. And I've shit all over really bad projects that paid me, you know, as high as a Bitcoin to review them. And so, you know, but when you get a project like GoChain, and there have been others that you feel strongly are going to do well, and then you see partnerships like this forming way after the fact because other companies are seeing the same thing that you saw at the very beginning, it's rewarding to me, honestly, because it just lets me know that, you know, I'm not always full of shit. As much as you know, as hard as I try to you know, push people in the right direction and things, it is, I mean, jokes aside, it's actually very rewarding to know. So hearing this is actually a pretty big deal for me. So I applaud you guys on the relationship, and I look forward to seeing what comes of it. Now, give me an idea, or if you like, tell me, who are some of these big licenses? Because I've read some of these, I'm like, whoa, like this is not a mom and pop type project. Like, you guys are really building some wildly significant relationships. I mean, what can you talk about?
Well, we do have a whole program coming out with products. On our launch week, we're hoping to have 15 major brands on board. Some of them, obviously, we can't disclose this yet. But I can tell you how we divide these license and what the collectibles that's going to be coming out. We do have 5 type of avenues that we look for when we sign license. So number 1 is we look for animation. So a company who is very strong in animation that can conceptually use the animation into a collectible. Number 2 is TV and movies. So you can imagine on the TV movie program, that could possibly to be a collectible. It could be your favorite HBO or the studio making a big blockbuster movie coming on board. That's what we look at. Number 3 is gaming contents. So company who has strong gaming content that can let you have ownership or some sort of interaction with that characters. Number 4 is our classic range. So the classic range is things that that evergreen icon, and that fits in. It could be possible a Disney character. It could be a possible, some sort of character out there that you have grew up with. And number 5 is our music and artist series. So apart from just bringing these collectibles of these 4 category, the music and art issue allows new emerging artists or street artists, some of the artists that we're working with, bring a lot of their art to be published onto the blockchain. So we have these 5 on our platform. The one that we can't actually announce which one we're going to have it on the opening week, but we do, as you mentioned, you have probably read some, we are under an NDA on what one we can disclose. But I think on our website and on our business deck, you can roughly get an idea of some of the major brands that we have coming.
Can I guess at some?
You can guess, but we can't react.
Like you can't react. Can you react to like Lord of the Rings? Is that?
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely, Lord of the Ring is something that is filmed in New Zealand, so we're quite passionate about it. Since myself and Dan, we're from down under, so we're definitely working on a lot of things with Lord of the Rings, both from artist perspectives as well as from the cinematic, theatrical type of collectibles that will be coming in.
Did I see something about Star Wars?
Definitely. I mean, we like to have, probably like Star Wars for sure. Companies like Star Wars and Disney are much, much harder to grip on and getting them onto the this whole frontier of what we call it, the nascent of this category of licensing. But definitely we have been discussing opportunities with them. But the space is going to be quite long term. So we're not just about bringing a whole lot of content on day one and have nothing else.
Sure.
So it's about putting a program together. So when we sign a deal with our licensor, we're looking at a partnership between 2 to 6 years. So there will be a drop every quarter for during our release and how we drive the audience and the social aspect of it for them.
I mean, from what I've seen names like Hello Kitty, I've seen Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, some Disney franchises, I'm pretty sure. I mean, whether or not these have been solidified relationships, but I've seen quite a few major, franchises and brands thrown around as being potentially a part of this. So moving forward, let's say, because when I see something like this, I think, well, years ago, I used to have a discussion forum for gamers. And I had some young guys that were real passionate about games, really working on this. And a part of the forums were kind of like a built-in RPG, where the more you post and comment and hire your reputation, you'd actually earn money. And then you're building up your character on the forums, and you can actually fight other people based off of their character and how powerful they are, which is all a culmination of how active they are in the forums. And it was actually a really cool system. It was like an RPG hack for V-Bulletin back then. Do you guys foresee anything similar to this kind of working on your app where you can actually, where you can get more out of like, okay, cool, I bought this picture that not many people have. Like, what sort of functionality are you guys looking to bring to this?
Yeah, well, if I can just start off by saying there's really 2 parts to our application. One is that collecting in itself for collectors is the game. That's what they want to do. They want to get the ultra rares. They want to get the whole set. They want to make sure they have all of these exclusive, super rare items. And for our first market, the hobbyist and collector, that is the game for them. But we also are approaching, sorry, we have our second market audience, which is the casual collector, and another layer of interactivity to what they can do with their collectible. So exactly as you've said, once you've purchased a collectible, and David touched on it just a moment ago, that in a later phase of the app, you will be able to customize that collectible with brand-related items. So, you might be able to get a different face or a different cape or a different weapon or a different skin. With that collectible, and you've customized it, added these extra little bits to power it up, as you say, you can then bring that character into one of our games. And they might be either a brand-specific game, like let's say you have two fighting characters from the same brand. You might be able to battle them together in our augmented reality technology, which we can chat about a little bit later. And then we also have early plans for sort of a more of an open world type system like Pokemon Go. And in these games, people will be able to win and get rewarded with rare collectibles, and they will also be able to earn the token within the game that will allow them to buy more virtual goods and collectibles. So to answer your question simply, yes, we definitely have a gaming element that allows people to take their collectibles and do something extra with them.
Now, and that's cool. And I can see, I'm seeing comments like you guys should work with Valve. And I see GoChain in chat saying great project. So, I have one of your wallets. It's not here because we've since moved and it's in a box now somewhere. But you guys sent me a wallet. Yes, that's exactly it. And I'm like, that's some really cool stuff. How does the wallet interact with the app and the collectibles? Like, in other words, how is there like a bridge between the two? Are they kind of a digital and hardware version of the same thing? Explain kind of that whole dynamic.
So basically the wallet we sent you is purely for the crypto market. This is a crypto wallet, $99 that you can get now, use it to protect your crypto. But we are actually bringing out another version of this specifically for the digital collectible space, and it will pair with the ECOMI Collect app. And the way that it will work is pretty much the same way as the hardware wallet, because what we imagine is that when people buy these digital collectibles, like any collectible, they could potentially go up. And a lot of these things can go up in value. And if you have a lot of collectibles, just like crypto, you want to keep it safe. So number one, you can certainly keep it safe in their wallet on the app. But for those users that want to take it that one step further, we will be selling a retail version, which David touched on earlier, that people will be able to store their collectibles on as well. And the retail version, which you can actually see some more detail on it in our pitch deck on our website, but we will actually have limited edition front covers with the brands and licenses that we're signing up. And then it will almost act like a physical 2FA. So for example, I want to send a collectible, well, let's say you buy a collectible off me. Before I send it to you, I need to press send in the app. The wallet will automatically turn on. It'll say confirm, and then I have to press this little red button here, and then it'll approve the transaction and send the digital collectible to you.
That's great. I love it. So man, I feel like the more you guys talk, the more stuff I want to know, and I'm starting to confuse myself. So is this something that like I would be able to go to, either Amazon or Walmart and buy like a booster pack off a shelf and then?
Yeah. So the initial starter pack with the wallets will be retail around the $29.99 price range. And you get a unique collectible in that, and the idea of that collectible is a $30 collectible. So you're technically getting the wallet or the secure hardware device for free of charge. And the more out there, the better it is, obviously. And we really believe that just like trading cards, you buy a pack of cards, you open it, you put your rares in the sleeve, you put your ultra rare in the case and the album. Same with all your collectible you put in this. And another things that we have actually put on is the augmented reality. So the car also used as our augmented reality section. So basically you can put the car in your palm, you put your phone over it, and the AR of your collectible will pop out from the car.
Have you guys ever heard of the game Skylanders? Oh, you froze frame.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know Skylanders, right? And then there's a Star Wars game. I got a whole bunch of it for my stepson like a couple years ago, and I was trying to play him. I got Boba Fett, and I was like, yeah, I'm Boba Fett. You know, that stuff is really cool. And so I have to assume that with a project like this, it probably can't be very long until you guys have your own actual hardware. I mean, like, because I'm as you guys are talking, and I'm thinking, okay, so I not only would love to have my digital asset, but I would like to have something that I can stick on a shelf as well that maybe somehow correlates or works together. Kind of like, you know, in this augmented reality thing. Yes, you could have it on a card, or, you know, you actually have the character, you know, and especially for people who like figurines and things like that. I don't personally collect figurines, but I can see how somebody would. Like, I have the digital version of this, and I also have the physical version of this, and together maybe they do something special. And I don't know, I'm just kind of brainstorming. This is like a perfect world. Like, I want a job. I want to like come and play with everything and just brainstorm.
Actually, yeah, on that note, that is definitely something we're looking into. I mean, we already have one physical product because we know we have to play in the physical world as well. And that's why we've got this secure hardware wallet. But we're also in discussions with a number of licenses and brands about adding an extra layer of an extra augmented reality layer to the products that they've got already. So let's say, for example, you buy a physical product, character X, and then within the ECOMI Collect app, and this, don't get me wrong, this is not going to come out in the first version, but later down the line, we will be introducing technology where you can add a digital item to that physical character by using augmented reality. So you might go and buy the physical product, and then you can adorn that physical product through augmented reality and through camera and image tracking, and add different items to it. Like it might be a sword or a cape or a virtual pedestal, because the physical world in the collectible space is going to be here forever. So it's very important that we play in both of these spaces.
Right.
Our focus is most definitely on the digital side, and I really think that as we see over the next 5 years or so, these, what we actually like to call them a virtual toy. It's really a cross between physical toy that you would buy as a kid and a game. So as I mentioned before, you can buy these characters, you can play with them in the sense that, you know, you can drop it on a table in augmented reality and then make it run around or do little missions or games. But yeah, it's definitely an area that we have looked a lot into.
Like, you guys make me want to collect shit, but I don't collect anything.
That's no idea. Well, if I can just make one comment, that's really one of the things that's most exciting to us is that we are putting collecting in the pocket of every single person who has a smartphone. You no longer have to go to a random place or find a store down a back alley that's got a one of one. We are really allowing to bring this industry into the mass market, and it's really thanks to blockchain technology and the scarcity of these assets. So, you know, the reason we're in this space now, you know, number one, David, as you mentioned, has been in this area already for 20 plus years, so he's very familiar with how it works. In addition, he is an absolute collecting addict, and I can say that because I've actually seen him at toy shows in his addict mode.
Yeah. I do have an issue.
Yeah, he's got an issue, that's for sure. So I think that's very important for, you know, the CEO of the company to have that drive and that understanding of how this industry works and really what collectors want. And that's why I hope, you mentioned this, making you want to collect, and that's one of the main things that we want to do is to help people get into this sort of collecting space.
Yeah, you know, Jason, one of the things is you show us your tattoo before on a war machine. That emotional side of thing and that second secret in us is what we're going to be building this whole business on. We're going to make this collectible so obsessive for you. You'll keep coming on. You'll be checking out. You'll be following the drop day. You will be signing up to the master collector out. We're going to have loot boxes coming out. So you get delivered to you every month and you don't even know what you get it. And the whole idea is that bringing the collectible into the next frontier in digital.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why my eyes watering. The only thing, see, for me, the only thing that I'm ever concerned with is I don't store anything on my phones. I've just, like, I have multiple phones now because I've been hacked once. So now I have to have a whole, like, I started with like 5 different computers for everything that I do, and I keep them all locked down, disconnected, and everything else. And then I got my phone hacked because of AT&T letting them just change my number. And so now I have multiple phones because I can't do this on this public phone because the number's everywhere. I can't do this on this one because I actually use this one. And then I have a third that I do some stuff with, but I don't store anything on it. And it's just like, it's such a pain in the butt. But realistically, outside of even all of that, the threat for me is, well, what if I take my phone and I'm out at a club somewhere and I'm sipping stuff and all night and then I leave my phone somewhere? Well, chances are I'm probably not going to get that back. Somebody can figure out how to brute force it, and then boom, anything I had on it, I've lost. What can you tell me, somebody who just does not feel comfortable storing anything of value on my phone, to make me feel like, you know what, it's okay, and this is why?
Absolutely, and that's number one why we are providing the wallet for users. So you can store all your collectibles on here. Like, you might have $50,000, $100,000 worth of collectibles. Number one way you can do it is store it on this wallet, and this wallet can be backed up like and restored like any other crypto wallet out there. Number two, and I think this is a very big point, because we are moving into the mass market and these people don't know about private keys, they don't know about the security you need in crypto. And to be honest, we don't want them to have to know that, because that's quite a barrier to entry. You know, crypto can be quite complicated, and we want people to just download the app, log in, see something they like, and buy it. And all that blockchain security stuff is all happening in the background. So we do have the technology in the back of the app to ensure that if any of our users do lose their collectibles, or they do lose their phone, or they do lose their wallet, we can, on behalf of their account, restore their seed or restore their collectibles back to them. And the reason that we do that, and I know some crypto purists out there will hate the fact that we are holding on behalf the private keys of the user, but as I mentioned, the reason we're doing
Your
this
market
is that,
isn't the hardcore market that would care anyway.
Exactly. To be honest, our market is, you know, crypto people, I do hope that they will buy it because it is a crypto blockchain-based solution. But the reality is 90% of our market is non-crypto, and they're non-technical. And so as such, we've designed and developed the product in a way that it's going to be very easy to use for these users without having to really understand any of the technology. You know, when you load up Microsoft Word, you're not saying, oh yeah, it's written in C++, I'm definitely going to use this.
Right.
People just don't care about that. So they just want to make sure they've got a product that works and it's secure.
And you're going to have a lot of kids, you're going to have a lot of young people that are going to get into this, because as this grows, it's going to grow through the schools, it's going to grow all over the place. And, you know, my daughters have already been through like 3 iPhones. I don't buy their iPhones. Their mom gets them a new iPhone anytime they smash it or bash it or break it. And, you know, more power to her. But, they're kids that get into this stuff, they're going to break their phones, and they treat their equipment like crap. And, you know, so yeah, it is smart that you are able to back stuff up, because I can tell you right now, one of my kids goes and they dropped, I don't care how they managed to get their hands on some really pricey collectibles, and then I find out they went swimming with their phone in their pocket and destroyed and lost all that. I would be furious if there wasn't a way to get that stuff back.
Exactly. Yeah. It would be an absolute terrible brand experience for on our side if that happened to users. And that's the exact reason that we've kind of gone down this.
And it's customer retention too, because the first time that happens is somebody loses all their shit, they're not going to buy anymore.
They're gone. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good planning and good thinking. What else do you have to tell the world? I'm out of questions. I just know I want to collect some random stuff now. I don't know what else to say. We got another freeze frame.
I think we've pretty much. Oh, can you hear us all right?
You're kind of starting to go in and out. Yeah. There you are. Now I can see you.
Yeah. I mean, I really think we've touched on a lot of the major points, and I think just in terms of our own timeline, the app is coming out around April, May next year. And for people who haven't been following the project, one of the most sort of unique kind of things that our advisory team has come up on the token side is that 40% of our token sale will actually happen through the app itself. So when users download the app and when they buy a digital collectible, which they can do with Fiat or with an in-app payment, the background mechanic is that they're going to be buying the token in the background. So again, it's just another way that we can stay in this crypto and token space, which we're all very big supporters of, but allow the end user, our mass market user, to very easily acquire these collectibles.
So the token is actually going to be, is it like a fork of GoChain, or like how is that worked out? Is it just going to be a new coin created just on the GoChain network? How does that work?
Yep. So we have our own token, the OMI token, which will be based off the GoChain network. And then when a user purchases a digital collectible, the tokens that are used to buy that collectible are actually sent off to a burnt address afterwards, and they are exchanged for the NFT in the app.
Gotcha. So as GoChain continues to develop and make progress on their technology, then that should follow through into your token as well.
Correct, and that's why we really believe in the future of GoChain and their technology, and they are a platform that are going to help us move successfully into the market that we want to move into, and make our product more and more blockchain centric as we develop and grow.
Guys, I really do. I dig this whole project. I thank you for my wallet. I do still have it. So this is like 5-6 months away. I mean, this is the app.
Yep. So the app is already well in development. The developers have been working on it for a number of months already. There's actually two divisions in the company. One is the ECOMI Collect. The other one is the wallet, the crypto wallet.
The crypto wallet, that's an ERC20 wallet, right?
The crypto wallet supports 9 different currencies right now, and then I believe within the next week we will support all ERC20 tokens as well. And we have some other really cool features coming up in the future as well. So yeah, anybody can jump into our Telegram at ECOMI to learn more about the wallet and collect.
You got to get me a wallet that is a statue of my favorite collectible that functions as a wallet that I can hide on a shelf. And everybody that comes, they'll just look at my shelf and say, what a nerd. And they won't think anything of the fluffy unicorn on my shelf that's actually containing millions and millions and millions of tokens.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be cool. But we have actually discussed something like that.
Yeah, hell, it could just be a book. It could be a fake book. Anything. I don't know. I like to be tricky. So, okay, well, look, guys, I mean, I think we covered just about everything. I've definitely keep me updated, as things make, more progress. And I try to keep up to date with as much as I can. But my gosh, it's like, when you're following 40 different projects on a regular, it's difficult to really kind of keep up. And especially when you're trying to sift through all the FUD and all the down market stuff and blah. But I was actually pretty excited about this interview tonight because I think your project is super cool, and I think a lot of people are going to have fun with it. I am really curious to see because I am a big War Machine fan. I have a giant 8-foot 3D gaming table that I made custom, and I spent like $800 on grass and tree, all kinds of stuff to try and make it look super cool. Everybody I used to play with doesn't play anymore, so I was sitting in my basement all by itself, nobody to play with. So the best thing I have now is just to paint the models, read the rule books, and maybe someday collect something on the ECOMI app.
If I can paint a future image for you, that when we have brands like similar to War Machine, etc., coming out, there's an augmented reality.
Wait, hold on. You froze frame, and I'm actually really wanting to hear what you said. Wait, you froze again.
Yeah, but in the future, can you hear me all right?
Okay, now you're good.
Now, am I back? Yep. Yeah, so in the future, you'll have an augmented reality character similar to War Machine or similar brands like that, and you'll be able to point that at your table, see your augmented reality character on it, and then other people will be able to join in, and you'll see their characters on your table as well, because the whole augmented reality is, we've got multiplayer and all that kind of stuff. So you will be able to use your gaming table in the future with other people, but in AR, not in the real world.
Right. All right, gentlemen. Dave, Dan, I appreciate it. Keep me posted, and I'm sure we'll have you back in the future and talk about the launch and the updates and everything else you have going on. For those of you out there, it's ecomi.io, correct?
.com.
Okay. You know what? I had it open, and then I think I closed it by accident. ECOMI.com. For those of you, look, have a good night. It's almost 8 p.m., but for me, it feels like it's 3:30 in the morning. And I already did a video earlier today, and I had one yesterday that was a little kind of like emotionally draining. It was such a big deal. But anyway, until next time, guys, grow your coins. I'm going to go crash. I'm going to take a mid-evening nap, and that's it. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.